All right. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Thank you all for coming. We got some people trickling into the back. We're going to have a good time. Everybody having fun? Yes, sir. Yeah? Is anybody here their first Wireless Repair Expo? All right. Welcome. Welcome. The crowds have changed over the years, so we welcome you. We got a lot of repair shops here, specifically. Repair shops. Suppliers. Right on. Retailers outside of repair shops. Raise your hand, Scott. You guys got to pay attention too.
I was counting the hands out there first.
All right. So, anyways, I'm very honored to get asked to put together a panel again this year. You know, when I get this opportunity, it does mean a lot to me from the standpoint of the respect for Michelle James, which I'll take 1 minute right now. Let's give a round of applause. I just have one question, Michelle. Was Honolulu not available this week? Can we get a little richer? All right. So, you know, I do take it personal for that reason alone. You guys are investing a lot of money to be out here. Your companies are investing a lot of money for you to be here. You know, we ordered 3 drinks at the bar last night. It was $80. So, you know, it is important to me that, you know, I try to create some sort of value, at least make this trip worthwhile for you today at 11 o'clock. So, I decided after falling down some rabbit holes the last couple months of crazy ideas and what to present and what to bring to the table. And really, I think we're at a crucial point in our industry where we're seeing a lot of separation from guys rising, and a lot of guys kind of sitting still, trying to figure out what's next for them, looking for solutions, looking for answers to how do I keep growing alongside everybody else. We're seeing consolidation in the marketplace, and we're seeing a lot of big names peeking into our industry that wouldn't take meetings with me 3 years ago, to be honest with you. But I'm glad they're here now.
Yes.
And to be honest, I mean, look.
He's sitting right here.
Was that a direct hit?
I have to pay attention. All right. So we're all on watch now. So one thing, you know, as I said, put this together because I feel like I've assembled a bit of a winner's circle for the industry as it relates to post-sales customer experience. I got some folks here that have wonderful stories in the carrier world, in the OEM world, in the insurance world, and just to be flat out honest, the entrepreneurial world. Guys, all these guys right here represent people with entrepreneur spirit, people that are in it to win it, people that don't see a finish line and just get up every day and they play for first place. And that is ultimately what everybody's going to need to do if you want to remain in the next year, because this industry is about to hit light speed. And if you're not in it to win it, then we're going to talk about some of those things today.
Awesome.
So I want to take 1 second. You know, there's been a lot of presentations I've seen over the years. There's been a lot of infographics I've seen online about all the things that the iPhone or the iPad or the Samsung Galaxy, see, I'm getting good, have replaced in the world. You know, so we talk about it a lot. You know, oh, it's my camera, it's my wallet. But if you really stop and think about everything that this device has replaced for us, like really just like stop and like brainstorm everything in your life today that this device does for you, that 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even 1 year ago, you had a company you relied on, an industry you relied on. I mean, really stop and just realize that you're managing the technology that has wiped out entire industries or has forced those industries to evolve to meet the demands of that device. So, you know, and then if you look at what's been going on the last couple of weeks with the hurricanes, I mean, what's the number one thing you see people dealing with? Is their device going to make it through? They're losing power. How are they going to keep their device charged? How are they going to check in with friends and family? How are friends and family going to check in with them? So we are at the forefront of keeping that technology alive every day and dealing with the sense of urgency of what you do when that device goes down. So I just want you guys to understand that, just to realize it. I mean, we literally have a superhero in the crowd today. But you're all superheroes. I mean, you literally are all bringing back technology to life. People cannot. Does anybody in here have a broken screen today?
I can help with that.
I figured there'd be enough people here.
Yeah. Nobody else? Really? Can you fix mine? You know anybody? Well, I was actually asked for some volunteers today. Can I get like 3 volunteers for a little experiment? 3 people. Anybody? Casey. You have your phone with you? Thanks. Casey, you're really smart, and I know you. But you just volunteered, and you have no idea what I'm going to do. And you know me.
I trust your heart.
All right. Well, I'm going to take your phone.
Oh, okay. How can I monitor my store?
Because I'm going to make Casey, for the next hour, understand what his customer goes through when they drop off a device. Huh? I get 1 more volunteer.
No.
No?
Now no one's volunteering.
All right.
Nobody?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, well, I was going to guarantee you guys I get 3 people to pay attention to the panel instead of watching the Apple event.
Right.
I'm sorry, I can only deliver 1. Everybody seems engaged.
I could give you my Samsung device if that would help. Does that help?
Ching, ching, ching,
Can you
ching.
hold that for me? Oh, okay.
We're good. We're good. So anyway, we're going to get into some intros. We only have an hour. My name is Jeremy Willis. I work with a company called AGiRepair. I did just recently join this wonderful company back in July. These gentlemen in the front row right here represent my new family. I've known them for a long time. I was doing some consulting work and business development work for them last year. And I just kept saying, if I'm going to go back in all the way, 360, it's going to be with this organization. They've been around for about 15, 16 years, been doing things in this industry that nobody else has done, and they're already 6 months, a year ahead of a lot of companies when it comes to remanufacturing and solutions for this industry for their own internal use, and now we're going to grow it and take it outside and bring it to a lot of other companies in the industry, a lot of depots and retail repair centers. And what I love about this company is that they've literally created their organization through solutions that their partners have brought them to invent. And that's really important to me. And I work with people I like, and so far I like you guys. So I have a long, as long as this retail repair industry goes, I've been in the supply chain world for about 6 years, and I've basically lived in repair shops for about 5 of those years. So I kind of went out on the road 5 years ago to learn about these guys that were opening up shops, and I never really looked back. So with that said, I would like to get into these folks' stories. We'll start with you, Scott.
Great.
Would you like to tell us about yourself?
Yes, I have a face made for radio, so I apologize that you have to look at me for an hour, but ultimately, I'm with uBreakiFix. I oversee their strategy, and I'm responsible for where we're taking the company in the future. So that is my role. Justin was supposed to be on this panel today, and due to Hurricane Irma, his travel was disrupted, and he'll be here in about an hour. So he sends his well wishes to everyone in the industry, and told me to make sure I said hello to everyone on his behalf. So he'll be around after this event. I'm sure you'll be able to approach him and say hello to him if you'd like. I come from the wireless indirect world with Verizon. The last couple of years, I was involved in the most acquisitions that have ever taken place in the indirect space. So I was overseeing that for a company called TCC. They have about 1,300 retail stores right now. Before that, I owned and operated 127 Verizon wireless retail stores, and I grew that company to 68 stores. So,
Yeah.
so I would say my acumen is off the charts.
Yeah, for sure.
But I say that because when I purchased that company, they had 127 stores, and they were losing about $2.5 million a year. And we right-sized that business to 68, and we were making several million dollars a year. So I understand what it is to go through significant growth and what it is to go through constriction and to get to the sweet spot. So that's just a little bit about my history. I don't know what else you need, Jeremy, but
We'll get to some other things.
All right, great.
We'll dive deeper.
Thank you for allowing me to be here today. I appreciate it.
Tate Fisher.
Well, it's a privilege to be here and see you all. I've gotten to know a lot of you over the last year, but lots of new faces. So I've been in consumer electronics repair for 20 years now. This marks my 20-year anniversary, 2018, which is kind of crazy. So I started in Radio Shack. Are there any Radio Shack veterans out here anymore? Remember this company called Radio Shack? Anyway, that one. Good. All right.
They were bought by Blockbuster, right?
Correct. Correct. And so, but no, it was a great way to get introduced to the industry, and ultimately learned a lot of things through them and what they were. They were way ahead of their time on a lot of operational issues that related to consumer electronics retail. I mean, they were the original inventory control. They mastered things like vendor managed inventory and things like that way back in the day before, a decade before any of the rest of us were talking about it, right? So it was a great place to start. Ended up owning my own Verizon stores as well, and went through a handful of mergers and acquisitions to end up as Verizon. So have all the battle scars and wounds from all of that, and eventually was able to sell my stores. I believe the same guy you sold your stores to.
He's a good man.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. So, but through that process, I actually really spent most of my time building out customer experience, and so we had some unique theories and thoughts that on the customer experience, store design, how your sales process should tie into your inventory control, and worked with IQ back in the early days, I think even. In fact, may or may not have been one of the really loud screaming people about making the cash drawer easy to reconcile back in the day. So, what's that?
Good work.
Yeah. So the point of that story is been in the space and have seen a lot of things come and go, including Nokia faceplates. And through that process, ended up doing a lot of work for a lot of the regional small carriers. So most of our customer base through the mid-2000s was the regional small carriers, as they all started to launch the iPhone. And so we helped a lot of about 36 CCA members take the iPhone to market and develop retail strategies for them, because most of those guys were utility companies and didn't know what virtual merchandising was. And
Morning a little bit.
yeah, absolutely. So been and seen a lot of different things. Jeremy started coming to me about 3 years ago, and I think I was one of those guys that didn't take a meeting with him originally, because I was like, no, these repair stores are a bunch of. I don't think that's an industry I want to be part of.
Were they? Oh, there
Yeah.
was a bunch of
Fly by night. I think the word I was going to use is fly by night. What? Renegade. Yeah, that wasn't the word I used. And and what we've seen in the last couple of years is as the space has matured, and as different players have come in, and a lot of things have changed. Suddenly, customer experience is now forefront, and the dynamics are changing really, really drastically, and so we find ourselves engaging more and more and more and more with people that understand that their store is their best salesperson, and understanding what having an actual customer experience, an intentional customer experience looks like and is. So
Yep, we're going to get into some more of that
that's it. So
today.
excited to be part.
Cool. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Michelle, for inviting us. Been with Samsung about 3.5 years. Prior to that, did 10 years at Best Buy. Prior to that, was part of my parents' business. So kind of started from the ground up. Did Best Buy for about 10 years as a technician. Worked face-to-face with our customers. Mostly PC repair back in the day, delivering good customer experiences. And then really, the past 3.5 years at Samsung have been really developing strategy and programs for mobile repair and across any customer experience work that we do. To be honest with you, about a year ago, Michelle approached me to join and support more of the wireless group overall. And since then, it's been a very exciting experience. I think overall, met a lot of services, over 100 services this year. The industry is not as notorious as people think it is. There's a lot of great people that work in the industry. There's a lot of great groups that are doing good things. And to be honest with you, this past year, we've built more partnerships with the industry more than ever before. Personally, for me, I built a lot of great relationships and partnerships directly from a Samsung point of view into the industry. So the best thing I could say from my background is that, it's hard to follow Tate and group on the years of experience, but I think the work that I'm doing is more of, I'm the internal advocate for the industry within Samsung. And I've got a team back there as well that directly supports the work that we do every day within mobile repair, within services, within strategy, within parts, within customer experience, systems, pretty much everything under the sun that supports our mobile repair or any repair in general. We oversee it. We form that strategy, the programs, and everything related to customer experience. So that includes digital, Samsung.com, and anything where a customer actually interfaces with Samsung directly today.
Thank you very much. And last but not least,
Jeremy, thanks for the opportunity to be here. Dan Kowalke with iQmetrix. I have the pleasure of working with Stacy Hamer, who just gave an unbelievable presentation. If you were here, I think you know what I'm talking about. And my charter for IQ is somewhat twofold. I'm responsible for leading the carrier direct integrations, and those, as well as I have a flaky mic. We talked about this, so I apologize in advance. And basically creating an ecosystem of partners that's best in class. Part of Stacy's presentation was partner, partner, partner. That's really the world that I live in, and have had exceptional, engaging conversations with many of you. And the reason that I'm here is to continue to develop those conversations. Previous to iQmetrix, I've been here for about 20 years. Spent about 5 years in the device manufacturing space, which has a lot of relevance to the service and repair. And in some, what we're here to do on behalf of iQmetrix is really turn the label of service and repair into a retailer, right? Be that a name. So, thanks again.
One other thing I'd like to mention, I've actually been a customer for each of these guys. This young man built out a flagship store for me and did an amazing job. Samsung, I carry their devices and always have, even when I go into other OEMs' offices. And then iQmetrix, I've had a few hundred stores that ran on their platform. So it's an honor to sit with these guys after seeing what they've done in the industry. So thank you for having us here.
yeah, and you're all now paying attention to, what was once kind of the ragtag part of the industry or whatever Tate called it. And, we're now moving forward into, really finding the need to find solutions to take care of all this technology that's just exploded because it's so big. It's bigger than any of us, any of you, and through partnerships, through collaboration, through good decisions, I think there's tremendous opportunity for everybody at this show as long as they, they really make the most of it. They do some great networking, ask the right questions. Don't be afraid to talk to people. I tell you, I see this industry in such a weird place because I didn't grow up in wireless like these guys did. I spent 15 years in the music business. So I come from another Wild West world of egos and stubborn people and creative types. And I'm seeing a lot of the same things going on in wireless, to be honest with you.
We can't play karaoke tonight at all.
No.
Okay.
So, I'm seeing a lot of the same things going on here. We see a lot of egos in this industry. We see a lot of stubborn people. We see a lot of people just can't talk to each other for whatever reason. And, I think we could break down some of those doors this week if you guys just find folks that you want to do business with, then roll up on them and figure what you can get done. Because we're all just people at the end of the day. We're all just having fun. We all love what we do. I talked to probably 6 people out in that hallway before I walked in here that just kept telling me how much they love this industry. They just love it. It's crazy. It drives me nuts. Sleepless nights. But God damn it, I love it. I love it. And I'm crazy as well. I wake up every day and this doesn't even seem like work to me. I love it. So, these guys, I'm from Kansas. What town are you from?
Garden City.
I don't even know where the hell that is. So, if this guy can make it, anybody can make it. We have 2 guys from Kansas. True story. We got 2 guys from Kansas up on this stage. So, we don't have a ton of time, so let's jump right into it. I think you see a lot of the story building here, and that story is around customer experience. I think, we touch a little bit about, the in it to win it concept and what it takes to win, what it takes to be an amazing entrepreneur, what it takes to work your ass off, to want it, to not just like watch motivational videos and say, I want to be that guy, actually wake up in the morning and do the damn thing. I mean, in my life, nothing was handed to me, and it was all through work, good decisions, being good to people, and working with people I like. I think these guys would probably agree that's been their road to success as well. So we'll kind of cut to the chase and get straight to customer experience. And I think that starts for me in knowing who the customer is, whether your customers are, you're in a retail environment, or you're in a depot environment, or you're in a carrier environment, if you're, whatever it may be, but knowing your customer, knowing what you want their experience to be. Because if you don't even have a vision of what you want their experience to be, where do you even start? And better yet, knowing what they're going to need 6 months to 12 months down the road. That's what creates winners. So I would like to just kind of jump right into that, to be honest with you. Like, if you guys could kind of speak on how to go about knowing what your customer experience is, what you want your customer experience. How do you develop that? I know Mike and I talked in depth the other day about this concept. And Mike, you want to lead off on that?
Yeah, sure. So, to kind of sum it up, from a customer experience standpoint, every day we meet with servicers, every day. And the number one thing we hear about is, hey, we deliver good customer service. We deliver good customer service. And then when we start deep diving into conversation, the definition of customer service is so different than customer experience. And I think when we start diving into customer experience, the answers and the tone of the conversation changes quite a bit. So when we talk about customer experience, we're talking about the full end-to-end customer experience from as soon as the customer phone breaks. Mm-hmm. So if a customer is having a problem with their phone, where do they start? Well, they're probably either going to go to Google, online, search for a place to get their phone fixed. That's number one. So what does the digital experience look like online? How is your company represented? What are your Yelp reviews say? What do your Facebook reviews say? What does your online presence look like?